guys, so I've been out the past 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, and wind up hooking up with some nice keeper striper here in Long Island, New York. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to show you guys how to fillet. Now, I'm not a professional. I've only done this 2 or 3 times before, but I got all my tools here. I got, first things first, coffee. Need that. Everybody needs coffee. I got my knife sharpener. It's like Cuisine Art, some brand like that. Then I got my Cuisine Art. I guess this is like a carving knife. And then of course, I got my fillet knife. I believe this one is probably about an 8-inch Danico is the brand. I think I picked it up in Walmart. It wasn't too expensive. It was probably about 17, 18 bucks. But it does the job. I'm telling you. Fillet knife does the job. Make sure it's nice and sharp though. Dull knife, you'll have a hard time. Then I've got, just a pot of water, just in case I need some water. Or I think I'm gonna stick my fillets in the pot after I'm done. And of course it's like a 6-foot table, plastic, one of the foldable ones, not too expensive. And I put some black paper bag down. It's a contractor bag, and I just taped it to the table. This is gonna be my workspace. And then I've got another contractor bag off to the side for all my garbage, guts, and all of that good stuff. Hopefully, it's not too bad, not too messy. But here we go. I'm gonna pull the first one out. And I've got them sitting in a cooler full of ice. All right, so I'm back. We got our friend. He's ready. Nice striped bass. Nice striped bass. This one measured out to 28.5 inches. Probably can't tell on the camera, but nice fish. But we're just gonna dig right in, eh? It's slimy. It's still slimy. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flip them around. All right, so you want the top of the fish facing you. Let me see if we get the top of the fish facing you. So from right behind this little fin, right behind this fin, there's like his, I guess you would call it a piece of his skull, or his neck. So it's a hard piece of bone there. So I don't want to cut the bone. I want to cut right in front of the bone. And I'm just going to make a diagonal cut. Let me see. Maybe I can... should have had... All right. Bear with me. So yeah, we're going to start with a diagonal cut right behind the fin. Sorry for the wiggling. Got you guys sitting on my chest. We got one cut behind the fin. Then from there, you're just gonna take your knife and you're gonna run it along the spine on the back of the fish. So when you put your knife in, you'll feel the spine, and you just want to take that knife, run it all the way down the back. Make sure you stay along that spine. You don't want to go in too far. You don't want to stay too shallow. But we're gonna run all the way down. And like I said, if you have a nice sharp knife, then it should be fairly easy. Oh Watch it, you don't cut your fingers off. That's a nice blooper there, right? Then what I do is after I get towards the tip of the tail, I like grab it and I'll push it through and I'll just come all the way out with it. So pushed it through, came all the way out. So now we got a nice flap here. And remember, we went along the spine, all the way down. All right. Yeah, edit this part, just getting the GoPro ready. So now that we ran all the way down, if you pull up on the meat, you can just run your knife along the spine and pull back on the meat that you have in your hand. And you just work that all the way down, trying to keep, as much meat as possible. The less amount of meat that you leave on the fish, of course, the bigger your fillet. A little hard part there still. And I'm just running the knife along the rib cage. Along the rib cage. That's it. Trying not to waste as much as possible. And like I said, I'm no professional. I've only done this a few times. But eventually, I'll learn how the masters do it. Oh, a little wiggly there, huh? We're just cutting along the spine, trying not to lose any meat in the process. And I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to where you should start, whether it be start at the top, start at the bottom. I mean, it's pretty much gonna be the same outcome. Now I've cut through most of that. I'm just running it along like the stomach pouch, because I don't want the guts to come out and I don't want what's inside the stomach. This one's being a bit of a pain in the butt to get off from here. Let me see if I can. Oh, we lost a nice little chunk. You see that nice chunk of meat we lost? But you know what? I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna give it to my dog, who will love it. So that's nice. One nice chunky fillet. Now, I mean, we got most of the meat off of here, right? But like this stomach meat here, I really don't care for. Then I lost a nice little chunk of meat here. I can go back and try to get that off. But like I said, I got two. So I'm not really going crazy to save all the meat in the world, Beggars can't be choosers, and I can't be greedy. So we're gonna do the same thing. Like right here is where that hard bone from the head and the skull are. So I'm gonna go on an angle, like right behind. If you move and flex the fish, then you can actually see where that bone is. So I'm just gonna go here on an angle. All right, I'm gonna come, stop right there on the spine. Now I can go ahead and take this head meat out, which is pretty good. I mean, for that I'll just, come in with the knife and go on an angle, and it'll be a nice square chunk of meat. And remember, guys, be careful with the knife. You know, I know you guys see me cutting towards my hands with the knife, only because I'm not really putting much force. I'm not pushing too hard. So here, now we've got the knife, and we're just gonna run it along the spine again. Ooh, might have went a little too far. It's all right. We're gonna clean our knife off, all right? Because believe it or not, those scales on the knife hinder the cutting quality of the knife. So now that we got them off, we can cut. Nice, clean cut. There we go. Nice, clean. Sorry for the wiggling again. But you know what? I'm going to put you guys back on the tripod so you guys don't have to get dizzy. Alright, so now that I get you guys back on the tripod, you're not wiggling around like crazy, I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting. Alright, so I got that done. Now I'm just going to pull back and cut. Oh, I got a paper towel in the way. Sorry about that. So we're going to pull back, and cut the meat out. Remember, staying along the rib cage. Take your time, you know, it doesn't have to be fast. I mean, you know, the slower you go, the more meat you can save. Like, I missed a lot of meat here. I'm trying to go back and save it now, but I'll probably go back at the end. See if I can get some scraps for the dog. But you know, she loves fish just as much as we do. Put some music here. Now, we got some extra meat here. Remember I said I was going to go back, see if I can get some of this extra meat off. Yeah, it's not going to work today. But what I can do is, I can see if I can get some of this head meat off though. And some people like the cheek meat. I don't know if I can get some off, but I'm gonna try. All right, nice chunk from the head. That's it. And we got 2 of those because it's 1 on each side. So let's see if we can get the other side off. And for me, you know, for some reason, cutting one side of the fish is always easier than cutting the other side. So what I do is I leave the head on.
Howdy, partner.
I leave the stomach in, so that this way I can hold the fish better, or it sits on the table better without it, you know, slipping all over the place, being impossible to hold and grab. Now that head meat came out a whole lot easier than the other one, but this is what we get when we're done. Nice, pretty good, both sides. I mean, I haven't filleted a fish since last year, so for what it is, it was pretty good. But I'm gonna clean up this mess and get started on the next one. All right, so we're back. Now I've discarded the carcass, and what I have left is 2 nice fillets. Now they're still on the skin, so what we have to do is we got to get the meat off the skin. Now this can be the hard part for some people, but for me it's pretty easy. What I like to do is I like to start at the tail, right? The thinnest part first. So I'll make a slice into the tail. You know, you'll lose a little, maybe an inch of the meat, or you can try to get that off if you want, but it's what we call dark meat. So up here in the north, Long Island, New York, we tend to stay away from the dark meat because it's I guess the bloodline or the fishiest part of the fish when you're eating, taste-wise. So I'll move. Oh, we got a nice chunk that fell off. We'll stick it in the pot. So I made the slit. Now I'll grab that with my first 2 fingers. Try to put your nails in it to hold it down. And I'll take the knife, and on an angle, I'll start to cut into the fish. Now, if you keep everything, it's all in the knife. Remember, sharp knife. You try to push down on the knife and stay as close as to skin as possible. And you just rock it back and forth. That's all we're doing, rocking it back and forth. Now you can pull it towards you more so you can get some more leverage. Remember, rock the knife back and forth, staying as close to the meat as possible. Now we're cutting through our paper bag, which is excellent because I know that I'm staying close to the bottom as possible, or staying as close to the table as possible. So when you get to that last part, you can pull it up, cut it off, and if you've done it right, then you should have all skin, no meat. Now that dark meat that I was talking, that's all of that. So what I like to do is I like to go in after I've cut it, and I'll try to get some of this dark meat off. I'll clean it off, and I'll put it in Ziploc bags when I'm done. The skin you can save for your cats, save for your dogs. You know, you can boil it down, make a soup or something for your pets. Skin is, I mean, fish is extra healthy for pets. So I don't want anything to go to waste here. We don't waste food. So what I can do is I'll put it to the side, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'll see if I can do something with it. And like I said, all the little extra chunks of meat that I pull off, that I will definitely be giving to the dog. She loves to eat just like we do, and it's going to be extra healthy for her coat, for her blood pressure, all of that good stuff. Fish is full of antioxidants, or however you say that. and omega-3s. That's the main part about fish, omega-3. Now I'm just doing the same thing that I did on the first fillet, staying low, trying to keep that meat stay as low to the skin as possible, working my knife, rocking it back and forth. Now I'm at the edge, and I can just go ahead and cut that away. And again, over look, see, you got a little bit of meat left here, if you can see it, but it's a thin strip where I started to rush. So we put that to the side. You can take your fillet now and you can clean it up. Should have sharpened my knife. Let me see if I can show you guys how to sharpen the knife. Usually these knife sharpeners, they come with 2 steps. There's like a number 1 and a number 2. So of course you start at number 1. And you just pull it back towards you. Remember, don't put it on an angle. You're just gonna pull it straight back just a couple times. So that's number 1. Then you move to number 2. I guess number 1 is a little more coarse. Number 2, a little more fine. So after you run it through, I like to wipe it off because, you know, God forbid we get any metal shavings from actually sharpening. And then I'll go ahead and I'll see if I can get some of this red meat off of there. And we can put some music on now. No, they're not gonna hear it because I'm not gonna have any sound here, just the music.
You know how to do that?
Yeah.
I'm not in the picture, right?
No. So now we got most of it off, but we'll work on it some more after we get it in the house. But that's much better. So now we have a nice, clean, skinless, boneless, red meat gone. Into the pot it goes. We'll rinse it off. And I'm using salt water. I don't want to put fresh water because when you put fresh water and then you go to put it in the freezer, if you're not cooking it the same day, then I advise to use salt water, because for some reason fresh water seems to break down the fish before you get a chance to cook it. So it's a little, I guess, on the softer, mushy side. But we want it to stay as fresh as possible. So I just put it in salt water and then put it in a Ziploc, and then I'll put it in the freezer. But that's it. That's all we have for filleting fish. If you want, you can watch my next video. It's gonna be making steaks. So we're gonna do striped bass steaks. Okay? So don't forget, click that like button, share, hit the notification bell. If you like what you see, you can subscribe. If not, then maybe I'll make another video that you will like. So stay tuned. All right, thank you. God bless. Have a nice day.